Hello, my name is XP Lagwagon. I am going to be doing some tank reviews. They're not going to be traditional reviews of statistical information, though there will be some reference to the statistics of the vehicle. This is going to be personal reviews, what I find effective, what I don't, tips, guide, what have you. We're going to start with what I feel is the very best, and that is the T90MS. It is an amazing vehicle. I picked it up recently, and I am going to just go through a few of the ins and outs of the vehicle, and then do some gameplay demonstration in PvE, and kind of just do some tips, information, show some of the strengths, weaknesses of the vehicle, and then maybe we'll get into some PvP. Alright, well, let us begin. Alrighty. So, as you can see, the T90MS is the Tier 9 Russian MBT. That is the wrong tree. Tier 9 Russian MBT. It is characterized by its ridiculous gun. This gun is absolutely insane. We're going to look at some of the stats here. AP, 723 damage. I obviously have only one retrofit at the moment. I have a CBL, so that gives me a Mark III, so that gives me 4.95% more alpha damage per shot. It also increases my accuracy. So, 723 base, you can see over here, 758 average damage per shot with AP. And that AP shell has 657 millimeters of penetration. That is enough to go through basically the slightly angled side of just about anything. Anything gives you any side, you're going to give it a really bad day. The AP shell, or the heat shell, not quite as useful in PvP at high tiers. I will take a few with me. But it is... everything is covered in ERA, and the weak spots are so small, it is... if you can hit a weak spot, you will do the extra damage, but it's very difficult to do. The people that are at Tier 9, most of them are not stupid. They're not going to just sit there and let you aim at their weak spots. And even if you can, the weak spots in MBTs are so hard to hit. So, what is it good for? AFVs, if you see them, already, you just bring a few. You know, you never know when you might have a chance to load it. What you don't want to do is gimp yourself on having enough AP ammo to go through the game. You don't want to run out and then have to rely on heat, because you're not going to do much with it if the person is actually expecting you to be there. If you catch them in the back, fine. But that's usually best to just load AP. Okay. So, we've talked about the gun, mobility. This tank is actually very, very mobile. It's not in the 2A6 territory, but it is with the upgraded engine. We'll look at the upgrades real quick. The first engine, as you can see, is 0.6, which is a good upgrade, but I just decided to save the credits. I think the engines are ridiculously overpriced. So I saved the credits from that, just went straight with the top one. It is, we will swap back here, as you can see, it is a 0.9 second increase to acceleration, and that is pretty big. Generally speaking, I will look at the engine as an upgrade if it is, depending on the movement of the vehicle. With a Chieftain, you really want to take any upgrade you can get. It might not seem like much, but the thing is so slow. You know, you just want anything to help that movement. With something that's already fairly mobile, I'm not going to worry too much about upgrading the engine. But when you're talking about a top-tier tank, and you've got something like almost a second off the acceleration time, that is definitely something you want to upgrade, even if it's about 2 million credits. You invested the money to get this thing, you ought to trick it out. But again, I don't see any problem with sticking with the stock engine until you can upgrade to the top one. As an opposition, we'll look at the XM8. The top engine, and I don't know how much it is, I haven't unlocked it, but I'm guessing it's in the 1.5 million range. 0.18 seconds. So instead of accelerating to 32 kilometers in 3 seconds, you're doing it in 2.9. I don't see that as a big upgrade. I'll save my credits and spend them elsewhere, you know. Honestly, I wouldn't even buy this thing. I think most of the mobility retrofits are meh. So, and at tier 8, you're going to spend 2 million to put a mobility retrofit on. The thing already has decent mobility. I'll probably skip that just to get some more credits, because we all need credits. Back to the T90MS. Let's see, what else can we say about it? It has a pretty great armor scheme, to be quite honest. If you look, these are all ERA panels. Every single one of these little squares, ERA, it's covered just everywhere in ERA. All these side panels, you can see spaced ERA. The back is covered in cage to protect you mostly against heat. You can put shots, I can't really zoom in anymore right now, but if you look along this line, and I have my cursor off, I think. Let's take a look here. Capture cursor, okay. So, if you look along this line right here, it's just above the cage armor. You can put a heat shield in there. You really can. And if you're looking down at it a little bit, this top engine deck is pretty weak. The side of the turret, there's really not much place you can do much of anything. I know there are some on some of the bots. There's some green in here. But it really does vary, and I think that that's just kind of like a bullshit PvE thing. I haven't had really an opportunity in PvP to get a clean look at this portion of the turret, but ERA covered here. This is all too heavily armored. You're not going to go through weak spots. This lower plate, and again, it's really, really quite hard to see. For some reason, the lighting in here is kind of a pain. I'm going to see if I can switch camos real quick, because I think that might help. Camo. Yeah, there we go. That gives us a little more light on the situation. So as you can kind of see as we come across here, covered in ERA, not covered in ERA. It does have enhanced plating, but you can kind of see here's the bottom line, and it dips into a little V right here. This little V is the best place to pin, right there. And again, the plate is so small, and you can see the steep angle. If you're too close, the angle's going to be too sharp. If you're in a 90ms, which is probably the only thing that can do it at that range, you're not going to be able to get your gun down, because your gun depression is just not enough. You've got to be backed off a little bit. And it can be a real pain in the ass to go through this lower plate. Honestly, some of it is really troll, because it's green, but the angling makes it so that it bounces. The only real other weak spot frontally, other than the hatch, which takes reduced damage, this left hatch up here, I'm not sure about this viewport. I think that's a no damage spot. This is no damage. Is this driver's viewport. As you can see, there's a little viewport here, but it's really this hatch. I'm not sure how well you can see it. Let's try to switch cams again. See if we can get a better... Oops. All we did was take camo off. Alright, no, well, you can kind of see the outline, this line right here. That area, that is the weak spot. And you will critical hit every single time through there, if you can get it to pin. Again, it's a real RNG spot, because it's so small. All this tank has to do, if you're looking at it, all this tank has to do is wiggle. And you gotta try to hit that, you know? It's not easy. AP will go through pretty much anywhere on the sides. Frontal, if your AP has a lower pen, this frontal area is a little trickier. Aim low under these side skirts, this jagged side skirt. Aim down in there. This upper part, yeah, you will probably go through, but with the ERA intact, you could have a hard time. AP will go through this. This is cage. It's not going to stop an AP round. And then, of course, the back engine. Don't really get a lot of engine crits on the 90MS for some reason, and I'm not sure exactly. Maybe I'm aiming at the wrong spot on the back. There are a lot of spots. If you look on the, as a perfect example, the M1A1. Well, it's kind of hard to see on this. Let's go with the M1, because I think it has a better... Okay. So down here, not so much critical. Up here, sometimes critical, but these vents, critical, every time. So there are different places. The back isn't necessarily critical. There are different places. This is a little hard to see, but you can see the vents in here. This big cage contraption on the back. Alright. Let's see, what else can we say here? Other than that, it's just a really tough nut to crack. I mean, it has the weakest armor profile of the tier 9s, but it's really not that weak. It really isn't. Saying it's the weakest of the tier 9s is like saying, you know, well, I don't know, but saying something that's not weak is weaker than something else that's not weak. None of them are very weak from the front. This probably has the biggest spots, but again, they're not very big, as you can see. Okay, so what else can we say here? Get APS as standard. APS is standard issue. You do get, I would recommend getting this immediately for the reduced aim time. You get an armor module. The retrofit modules are pretty good setup, because you get a universal, you get an armor, and you get a firepower. So you can get the ABL and the CBL, augmented breech lock if you have it. Get another 15% accuracy, and while it does say largest circle, smallest circle, if you look, they both, actually they both say largest circle, my goodness. Okay, so they're both mid-accuracy now. Alright, well, edit that out, haha. These affect your accuracy dramatically, and at high tiers, with the small weak points that you're going to be looking at frontally, accuracy is at a real premium. Aim time is nice too, but accuracy is going to make sure you hit more of those minute spots that you want to hit. So, alright, well, let's see if we can't get into a game here. What do we have? Harbinger. Not my favorite mission, but you know what? Let's just go in there. There's a lot of arty on this map, and AI arty is a lot better in 0.13, but I still think paladins do too much damage for the amount of module damage that they do. I took a screenshot the other day. I had 4 modules knocked out, including my gun, my APS, my tracks, by a paladin that also dealt 400 damage to me, and that tracking led to me taking several other shots, which I should have used my repair kit, but I'm a cheap bastard, so I did not. So anyways, here we go. Harbinger. We are in a full tier 9 matchup, and we'll see if we can kind of show some of the strengths of the 90MS. One thing you're going to see is that you can non-critical with heat for more than 1,000 damage, and your criticals can go up with my single retrofit with damage. If you added more damage, you could go higher. I was able to max crit for 1,310 with heat. Had an AFE, put a mark on a tank, and not going to be able to hit him before he goes behind the building, but if he comes out, no.
Kidnapping them for ransom. Clear them out.
No effect. M8 Thunderbolt. No armor, but somehow we were able to bounce on that.
High priority targets and do not let them escape.
So we're gonna move up. As I was saying, the you will do non-critical damage for over 1,000. It is definitely possible to roll that high. I roll about, can one-shot, that's a waste of shell on that. Can one-shot weasels, like salvage weasels at this tier have about 1,039 health, I think, and you can one-shot them, no problem. Okay, so there's already on me. It's an Akitsaya, so I'm not as worried about its damage potential, but we still want to be a little bit careful. I'm gonna finish this 90. No, we're not. We're gonna bounce because he turned. We're gonna switch to AP. There's a lot of METs out here. We're gonna switch to AP. We're gonna kind of come around here. Okay, here we go. Here's the crit. Boom, right there. Crit. Every time. You're gonna crit every time. You notice we don't really need to worry about autocannons. They're not gonna do much to us. Ricochet off of Stingray too. As I'm talking about how wonderful the pen is, we get that, so it can just call me a liar. I go right through there. Anybody wondering about the Ramka or the Terminator's weak spot? It's this driver's port. You can't see it right now, but it's right here. You will full damage every single time. Okay, we're gonna switch back to heat. See what we can do to this. There, 1,033. That was a killing shot, so we don't know how high we would have rolled, but high enough. He's not gonna have a good day after that. We do need to worry about is this Abrams. And you gotta be aware, especially in PvE, of what tanks shoot what ammo. And it really is important to know that, because if you're not paying attention, you can get wrecked really quickly. And really, oh, there you go, 1,031. Not a crit, just a high roll. So there you get an example of, I think that was a lower plate shot. Probably a lower plate shot, because I went over the ridge. You want to know what shoots what. For example, the T90 MSs, the regular ones that you will encounter in PvE, shoot HE. Not really a huge threat, unless they hit a minuscule weak spot and high roll. You know, they're still not going to do all that much. But as you can see, my aim is shit today. But if you run into a 90 MS commander, they will shoot AP at you, and you will have a very bad day if you're not thinking about it. You're just like, oh, 90 MS, he's going to shoot HE at me. No, not the case. He will shoot AP. I had one crit me for over 1,000 with AP because of the magic of bots, so be aware of that. Okay, this is a 2A6. He's got a couple weak spots, but we're going to hold our shot here, because we do have a limited number of shells. Panzer 2000 can shoot under the bridge, and that's why we don't like her. So we're going to switch back to heat now. We've got a couple soft targets in front of us. So, Thunderbolts. Huge threat. You want to kill Thunderbolts immediately. And there you go, 1,038. You really don't want to let Thunderbolts hang around. And we got a Stingray behind us, so we're going to deal with him, because he will shoot AP, and he will really cause us some problems. We also have to be aware that AI tanks like to just troll and target you from across the map just because. So, yeah, Thunderbolt. Very dangerous. They will pin you. They have just mind-boggling amounts of pen. They're basically like light tank versions of the 90 MS in terms of penetration. damage is fairly substantial for a light tank. I've been crit for 600 plus by them. I mean, it's not something you wanna have happen. So you gotta be careful with them. And we let that one on fire. He's not gonna like that, so we gotta be careful. And really, they have enough pen. You don't want to give them any side armor, like at all. They'll really make you regret it. But for some reason, OE decided that Tier 9 MBT should generally shoot HE. Maybe they want to like recreate the good old PvP meta for high tiers, but for some reason, you know, Leo 2A6s shoot HE. T90MS shooting HE. Look, if he'd been shooting AP, I'd be friggin' wrecked. But he's not. So we're gonna go ahead and push up on him. Let's see. What was I? Oh, I got somebody like right behind us. Just this is the joy of the internet. People are just rubbing all over you. So yeah, 2A6s shoot HE. Ariets Ariets are a little weird. I've seen them shoot both. I'm not sure if that's just like a commander thing. I can't really remember. I know I have been AP'd by them since they added in all these HE changes. But 2A6s will shoot HE. 2A5s, on the other hand, will shoot AP. So you gotta really be paying attention, because you'll see a Leopard 2A something. I don't know if you can see from here. It's kind of hard to make out if that's a 2A6 or a 2A5. I know it's a 2A6 because I already saw it, but... And, so if you're not paying attention, or if you just take a quick glance, you think, oh, 2A6 is going to shoot HE, or 2A something is going to shoot HE. Always want to say good game to our team. You know, you're gonna be in for a surprise, because he'll hit you for like 580, 600. If you're not paying attention. For some reason, they always seem to hit a little harder than you can. But so it is good to just generally kind of keep a mental note of what generally tends to shoot what. And in that case, you will be able to more accurately, defend yourself against the possible threats. If you know somebody's going to shoot AP, you want to definitely keep your armor to the front. If you know they're going to be shooting HE, you don't really want to take side or back shots from HE, especially not back shots, but if it's a choice between that and AP, you've got a much better chance of trolling the HE shot, because they have to hit perfect to do real high damage. The AP just has to pretty much hit you. So, and here's our results. Again, not one of my favorite missions. I don't think the rewards are all that good. I've been kind of building a spreadsheet, but we got a few medals. 11,726 with premium. 157,953, that's net. So let's see what that's gross. Let's see what the net is. 115,953. So I don't know, I've seen people bitching and complaining about the changes to PV credit income, like it's gotten worse. I have not experienced that at all. In every case, with every tank, I'm making almost double what I would make before. And the reduction to the cost of rearm kits, PV kits. Really, honestly, it makes it so you're not quite so squeamish about using it towards the end of a match. Before you really had to kind of calculate out, okay, well, how much damage am I going to be able to do? Because this is going to cut, using your rearm kit would cut half your profits out. Yeah, you have the logistic costs, but honestly, it would be a really, really good game, and I would have to not use a rearm kit, the PV kit, to get 115,000 out of a match. I mean, it just is not going to happen. So, I mean, I may have had a couple 100,000 games, but I'm pretty sure those were during either boosts or bonus times. Honestly, my average for a good game was probably 60 to 70k. And a bad game was, if I had to use a lot of repair or just had a shitty game, whatever. Probably more in like the 30k range, 30 to 40k, 50 was probably just the average of all games. And now I'm definitely I believe I can average 115 per game easily. 120 probably if I'm having a series of good games, but balancing out, you'll have some 85, 90,000 credit games. You'll have some 140, 150,000 credit games. Just the way it works out. But anyways, as you can see, I mean, and again, bots are pretty stupid. They're not gonna really, they can aim at weak points, but generally they're not gonna really mess with you too much. So, but T90MS, very good vehicle. I'll try and do PvP. It's a little harder to get a PvP game going, especially in high tiers, because, in fact, let's just look. Yeah, I mean, you have 2 tier 9s in queue. You're gonna spend all day in the queue. Unfortunately, that's the way it is on NA. That's part of the reason I'm trying to start doing these videos. I want to get people interested in this game. It's a good game. Yeah, they're selling things. Yeah, the beta excuse is marginal. But I probably went into open beta a little early. But these guys, they want this to be a good game. They want to improve it. They want to hear what you have to say about it. They want to get people playing it. And it's definitely a fun game to play. One of the things for me, coming from World of Tanks, was just the fact that you spend all your time trying to get into tier 10 so that you can play tanks that feel balanced, that feel highly mobile, that feel like you have... Like they're working as intended. A lot of the lower tiers are very clunky or have these huge disadvantages. And, I believe, and again, this is anecdotal, I don't have any stats to back it up, but I believe that's a lot of the reason people love the Russian MBTs, or the Russian mediums so much, was just because they felt very complete. You had very competitive DPM, you had workable armor, you had good mobility. It wasn't the best, but it was good. You had good camo. You could really do things. And with this game, getting into it initially, you feel like you're starting at that level where you are getting into tanks where you can move around, you can do things, you can play the game. You're not locked into a specific style of play. Granted, high tier balance is crap right now in this game. I'm not going to sugarcoat it. They really need to fix it. This is an MBT game. Play an MBT or go home, really, in the high tiers. And they are working to address it. I don't know how they're going to fix it. I don't claim to have the answers, but I have enough confidence in this game. Not just because I put money into it, but I have confidence in this game that they'll work it out. I just really hope that they don't take too long and lose too many players. So anyways, that's the point of doing these. I want to get people interested in this game. I'm not a professional video maker. I'm just a player that wants to see this game succeed. So I'm gonna try to do these with different tanks. We'll just see. We'll just see where it goes. I don't know. So anyways, thank you very much for watching. I hope this has been somewhat educational. If you have any questions, feel free to message me in game, friend me, talk to me. If you want to platoon together, absolutely. I've been playing a lot of PvE because PvP queue times can get a little wonky, but if you want to play mid-tier PvP, happy to do it. If you want to play high-tier PvP, fine, happy to do it. Just, whatever. It'll be, just take it easy. So, anyways, thank you very much for watching. If you have any questions, more questions about the T90MS, again, this isn't an in-depth review. I don't claim to know everything about this vehicle, but from playing it, I'm 56% into it. It's fantastic. It's a lot of fun. Next I'll do the 2A6, which is also a fantastic tank and a lot of fun. and the first of the Leo 2s that I really embraced and thought, hey, there's a reason to play this over other things at its tier. So anyways, thank you, and take care.